If hormone replacement therapy, or HRT as it's also called, was so dangerous, why are so many doctors and menopause specialists talking about it again? Today, we're going to tackle your biggest, baddest burning questions you have about HRT. And stick around to the end because I have a tool that can help you track what's actually happening in your body and make those conversations with your healthcare provider a whole lot easier. So, our first question: does HRT cause breast cancer? And this is probably the number one fear women have about HRT. And much of that goes back to the Women's Health Initiative study that came out in 2002 and what we were told about this study. If you want the full story on that, I cover that in my first video about HRT and why it's being talked about again. So, breast cancer risk is not nearly as simple as HRT causes breast cancer. There's factors in there like your age, your personal health, history, the type of hormones used, and how long they're used all play into this. Now, a family history of breast cancer doesn't automatically mean HRT is off the table for you, but a personal history of hormone sensitive breast cancer is different and absolutely needs to be discussed with your healthcare provider. The key is understanding your individual risks and the benefits rather than assuming the answer is automatically a yes or a no. The second question I hear often is HRT safe? I've heard it's dangerous. Since that study, women have spent the last 2 decades hearing very different messages about HRT. We heard that hormone therapy was dangerous and should be avoided. What we've learned since is that it's a lot more complicated than what it was made to sound like. According to current menopause guidelines, for most healthy women under the age of 60 or within 10 years of menopause, the benefits of HRT often outweigh the risks. So, does that mean HRT is risk free? No, but it does mean that safety isn't a simple yes or no question. It depends on the factors like your age, your health history, symptoms, goals, and the type of hormone therapy being used. The most important thing is talking with a provider who is up to date on today's menopause research rather than making a decision based on those headlines from 20 years ago. The next question I hear: why won't my doctor prescribe HRT? And am I really too young? So, our current guidelines from the Menopause Society allows HRT starting when symptoms begin, but with no minimum age. If you're in your 40s experiencing symptoms and your quality of life is being affected, you're not automatically too young to have a conversation about HRT. The reality is, though, that most providers never even received extensive training in menopause and then trying to stay current with evolving guidelines on research. If you're being told you're too young, your symptoms don't matter, and your only option is to suffer through it, it's okay to push for a more thorough exploration. So ask your provider what other factors could be contributing, or exploring whether a provider with more experience in perimenopause might offer more insight. So, another question I hear is: my doctor's telling me my labs are normal, but I don't feel like myself. What can I do? So, this is one of the most frustrating things women can hear during perimenopause. The reality is that hormone levels fluctuate dramatically during this stage in your life. So, your estrogen may look completely normal on the day your blood is drawn, but it may look very different the next week. And that's why current menopause guidelines don't rely on a single hormone level to diagnose your perimenopause. Your age, your symptoms, your cycle changes, and the overall picture matters. So if you're experiencing hot flashes, sleep issues, anxiety, mood changes, brain fog, or simply not feeling like yourself, don't assume that a normal lab results means nothing's going on. Your symptoms are part of that data too. And if you feel like your concerns are being dismissed because of that one lab value, just like before, it's absolutely okay to ask for more. Don't hesitate to say, I still don't feel right. What else could be going on? Because you deserve a deeper look and, if needed, a fresh perspective. And my last question I hear, what changed with HRT and why is everyone suddenly talking about it again? The short answer, the science didn't stop when those 2002 results came out. Researchers have continued to study hormone therapy, and over time, they learned that the original study was more complicated than what it was made to sound like. Your age matters, the timing of HRT matters, the type of hormones matter, and the delivery methods matter. And as more research came out, the understanding of the risks and benefits evolved. That's why we're hearing very different things today than we heard 20 years ago. And that's why so many women are confused. Many of us grew up hearing or not that hormones were dangerous, our mothers were being taken off or not being given at all, and they were just told they had to just live with it. Now we're reaching midlife and hearing HRT is a good thing. The bottom line, HRT is not a one size fits all. Risks, symptoms, and your goals all matter. And if you're curious, talk with a provider who stays current and looks at the full picture. Now, I recommend tracking your symptoms so you can look at that full picture. And to help you out, I have a tracker guide. It helps you see daily patterns and connects your symptoms that you may not even realize are related. Plus, it gives you prep questions that you might not think of to bring with your next doctor's appointment. Plus, in the description, you'll find a link to the Menopause Society's directory to help you find a provider who stays up to date in perimenopause and menopause. You really don't have to figure this out alone. And if you're tired of being told you just have to live with it, subscribe and join me for more conversations about perimenopause, menopause, hormones, and practical ways to feel like yourself again. And if you have questions, pop them in the comments because I would love to answer those questions for you.